Hello everyone, thanks so much for tuning into Sims Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So today we are going to be reviewing the Last Bookstore on Earth, which for some reason I want to just call the Last Bookshop on Earth, but that's incorrect. Sorry, allergies. In any case, this is one of those novels that is said to be perfect for fans of Station 11 or The Last of Us. I've played The Last of Us video game. That opening sequence is still traumatic. Haven't read the book yet. Haven't watched the show yet. So, I'm really looking forward to that. Sometimes with two kids, it's hard. In any case, this book, I really do get why it's saying it's perfect for fans of both of those fandoms. It wasn't my favorite book. This was the January Barnes & Noble book club pick. And it wasn't my favorite. I liked it. I wouldn't say I loved it, though. And that kind of sucks a little bit. I liked the dystopian aspect of the novel. And I liked the flashbacks that our main character, Liz, has. I think the flashbacks needed to be fleshed out a little bit more. I think that there's supposed to be some sort of indication that she might be on the spectrum, high functioning, but nothing was really clear, especially in regards to her and her dynamic with her twin sister. So I wanted a little bit more from that. I'm just like, I'm not sure what to think of her, honestly. I wasn't really sure what to think of her. Sometimes she just seems like a mess, and then when you have the flashbacks, you're like, okay, so there's more to her, but we don't really get that fleshed out. And I would have loved it if it had been fleshed out a little bit more, especially with her, especially with her relationship with her twin sister. I think that there's a lot going on that we don't see, especially with her father and her mother and her sister in college, and this whole theory that there's going to be a natural disaster. Think the day after tomorrow kind of natural disaster. And I love that movie, by the way. So there's a lot of tension in those scenes, but you don't really get to see them flushed out. And for me, that kind of took away, because those were my favorite parts of the novel itself. Don't get me wrong, I liked seeing her live in the bookstore and have to try to find a way to repair it because they're thinking another storm's coming, and I love the snippets, the letters that break up the story, because her bookstore also serves as kind of waypoint. She'll hold messages and letters for other people to come pick up. And in exchange for that service, they'll give her food, they'll give her batteries, they'll give her essentials that she needs to survive. Because she's living here. She's living in this bookstore. And as someone who would love to live above a bookstore, I love that. I love that for her. That's like, ooh, yeah, if I could do that, if I could have my own little apartment above a bookstore, have me and my family just live above a bookstore, that would be great for me. The little dreams, Sorry. I took my inhaler, so I'm hoping it'll kick in soon. In any case, I liked seeing that, but I think that there was such more richness and depth in her characterization in the flashbacks, because they allude to something that's happening to her in the present. But we didn't really get a whole lot of that. And as for Maeve, I was rather indifferent to Maeve, which kind of sucked. I didn't like her, but I didn't hate her. I was just like, okay, so she's here just to be like the love interest and to help you survive. Okay. There's more to Maeve, and we don't really get to see any of that explored. We don't really get to see all of her story. And I think if we had seen more of her story, I would have felt more invested in the romance between these two characters, and I just wasn't, unfortunately. I wanted so much more from that, and I wanted so much more from this novel as a whole. I think it was a good novel, but it could have been better because it just felt very... I feel like there are so many parts. I'm just like, if I were the editor, I would have been like, this is great. Can we please develop this scene a little bit more? I would have been like, this is great. I want us to flesh this out a little bit more. This is great. Can we see something about Maeve's past? You know, we need something. There were things that needed to be fleshed out. The dynamic needed to be fleshed out. The way we're getting to know Liz is through those flashbacks. Whereas with Maeve, she's just kind of standoffish. She just wants to hold out in this bookstore until the storm. She really doesn't even want to be here, but then she grows attached to Liz. I like the camaraderie between their two characters. I just wasn't invested in it. And I'm glad Liz got her happy ending with her. But again, I would have liked Maeve to be developed a little bit more and fleshed out more, so that way there was a little bit more depth to their dynamic as a whole. So, you know, not a bad novel. It's just one of those novels that has so much more potential, and I feel like the publisher just didn't delve into all the potential that was there for it, because there's so much there. Like, the outline's there. You just have to flesh it out a little bit more, not even a lot more, just a little bit more here and there to make us readers more emotionally invested in the story. So, you know, to each their own. It was good. I liked it. I just didn't love it. So on that note, you know, if you want to go ahead and give this book a shot yourself and form your own opinion, I'm all for that. Please don't forget, the links for all of that will be in the description. On that note, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.